We're at the Burnco Landscape Center in downtown Calgary on the corner of Deerfoot and Glenmore. And we're going to show today on how you can load the bale into the back of a half ton. So the bale weighs 1,500 pounds, but sometimes it can get up to 1,800 pounds. So it's got to be a full, half ton. It can't be something that's smaller than a half ton. That's totally safe to run it in one of those, okay? So there's two dimensions you have to be considering. This way here, where the way you pull it off a flat deck, that's 4.5 feet, and it's 4 feet deep. If you try to put that bale in the back of a half ton the 4.5 feet way, you're gonna damage that truck. The first safest way is to put it onto an old pallet. The second one is just to use a piece of dunnage or anything to get that, to rest this particular piece of dunnage onto, and then you get your forks underneath it. Okay, so we're gonna talk briefly about just putting it onto a pallet. So you see what he's done there? He's placed that bale on top of that pallet. So it's 4.5 feet is the depth of that thing now, and he's gonna attack it now from the 4-foot side so he can safely put that in the back of a half ton. And just another note, like for loading and stuff like that, it's not a big deal, but he's got it right though. You wanna put the sticker facing to the back, just so that if the wind catches it, it doesn't blow that bale apart. So we're about ready to get loaded, and there's a couple things I recommend if you can. Lower this, or take this tailgate off if there's no electronics or camera in the back of the tailgate. With this particular loader, you don't have to worry about it as much, but if you're using a masted, forklift, you might want to consider taking that off, or you just gotta be super careful. The next thing is always use a spotter, and if that's the vehicle's owner, that's awesome. Just making sure we're not gonna damage his vehicle. So we're gonna get him to place this in the back of the bale now. So you can see with this particular loader configuration, it's awesome to place this in the back of a half ton. You can see he's got ample room on the side of the wheel wells on both sides. And like I said, make sure two things. If you can remove this tailgate, do that. And number two, make sure there's a spotter. And I was on the other side, spotting him and helping him make sure so he's not gonna damage that wheel well. So there's the bale in the back of a half ton. It is a heavy load, and normally you'd push that ahead a little bit so you get a little bit more of that weight going over the front of that axle. Perfect. So there you can just see how much better the truck takes that weight. So that's the first way to safely load a bale in the back of a half ton. The second way is to use a block of wood or a piece of dunnage, and you put it underneath the dunnage of the bale. You can see how the bale is designed. As it comes off a flat deck, it's got the dunnage already, so you'd have no issues taking it off a big flat deck or putting it onto a flat deck trailer. So you got to get this elevated because there's no way to enter it from this way, the 4-foot way, to put it into the back of a half ton. So we have to figure out a way to do that. So obviously you want to use an old pallet. It's the easiest, the safest way. But if you don't have a pallet, you can get by with a block of wood, and it's just a little bit more cumbersome. It's not as fun for the loader operator. Block it up with a piece of block underneath there, run your forks underneath it, and then you're underneath that bale, and then you can place that in the back of the half ton. Obviously the first way is the best. The second is only, we only use that in last resort. We don't have an old pallet. This technique takes a little bit more time. Again, you should be using a spotter. Perfect. Okay, we're not gonna drop it in there because if you're using this technique, once you get it in the back of that truck, that's where it's gonna sit until the customer takes it home, breaks it open, and uses it in their landscape. And so the customer takes it to their house, and then they offload it. They have to bust open that bale, There's instructions on the bale on how to unload it and how to break it open. Please read those instructions. Use good gloves and glasses because there are some sharp edges. The bale does have a metal banding on it, so you got to be careful of the metal banding. Use safety glasses and gloves. And there you have it, loading a bale in the back of a half ton at Burnco Landscape Supply Company.